Hey everybody, Alan Weber here from the Mayor's Office on a beautiful Friday. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're safe. I hope you're healthy. I hope you're observing the governor's requirement that we're all wearing masks when we go out into public spaces. More on that in a little bit, but there's a lot of choices in masks. You can make your own. There's a pattern you can get from the CDC website. The city will be handing out some with food boxes and meals through the food depot. If you're desperate, of course, you don't even need a mask. All you need is a bandana. It could be one of those old school bandanas that you see in the westerns. It could be something more fashionable. All it needs to do is to protect other people from you. I mean, the thing we need to remember about face coverings is I don't wear a face cover to protect me. I wear a face covering to protect you. And that's the spirit of respect and concern and love that is at the heart of Santa Fe. We look after each other. We take care of each other. A face mask or a bandana, any kind of a face covering, protects all the other people you encounter in the course of your day, whether it's at a grocery store, going to the pharmacy, now going shopping. Our local stores are open. You can shop local. Keep your money right here in Santa Fe. Keep our people working by spending local. But when you go out, wear that face covering. It's part of the Santa Fe Promise. Santa Fe Promise says, act as if you might have coronavirus. Saw a report this morning that says something like 33%, roughly 1/3 of all of the cases of COVID-19 were from people who were asymptomatic. They didn't know they had it. So any one of us could have it. We could even feel great. We could go out. We could not wear a face covering and inadvertently spread coronavirus around Santa Fe. Now that's not what's been happening. It's not how we've been behaving. This community is extraordinary. You guys are amazing. I've got the data for the whole week here. Going back, well, we had a bad day of 8 over the weekend. That was a flare-up in some of our senior residences. We've got to be very particular and concerned about and very mindful of the folks who are living in those senior residences. They could be your family, they could be my family. Look after them as if they were your family. Make sure you call them, tell them you care about them, you love them, you want them to stay healthy. After that, it was 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, currently at 127 total cases. The current pass-along rate, I'm told, is about 1.05, which means that for every 100 people who have been diagnosed with COVID-19, they will be passing it along to 105 others. That's better than most parts of the whole country, where it's 100 people passing it along to 400 people. That's where you get that explosive growth, where a tinderbox suddenly lights up. We've been keeping it down, but we haven't got it below 100. We want 100 people passing it along to only 50 people. Then we've really made an impact on breaking the back of the coronavirus. Then we can open up safely, successfully, and bring our economy back to life. So the Santa Fe Promise says, act as if you had it. Wear a face covering. Use hand sanitizer. Continue to practice social distance. That 6-foot distance between us when we're out keeps our little potential virus drabs and drips and globules from getting out into the environment. That's the reality of this disease. It really does make a difference. I got a very special opportunity, speaking of coronavirus. Yesterday was the weekly briefing for mayors put on by the Bloomberg Philanthropies and the Harvard Business School, Harvard Kennedy School, and the Johns Hopkins School for Public Health. Let me tell you a few things that the special guest told us. The special guest yesterday was Dr. Fauci, who is an extraordinary public servant. He tells the truth. He doesn't over-exaggerate. He keeps things factual. First of all, he said, we can expect, going forward, as we reopen, blips of infection will happen. That was his term, blips of infection. We can expect it, but we need to contain it. And that means more testing and more contact tracing. We all need to take the responsibility individually to keep those blips from becoming another major outbreak of the coronavirus. He says we should continue physical distancing, that 6-foot barrier, but we can begin to gradually reduce our social distancing, meaning we can gradually reintroduce social interactions as long as we take the right precautions. Somebody asked him about whether the virus will go down, the spread will go down in the summer. He said, great question. Typically, respiratory viruses don't do as well in warm weather. And with warm weather, we have more outdoor activity, which means we should have more distancing among us, between us. But he cautioned, there's no real evidence yet. It's likely we'll do somewhat better, but not a guarantee. And he said the big thing to worry about is a flare-up in the fall. If we begin to see success in the summer with more outdoor activity, people continuing to wear face coverings, we could bring that rate down. But then if we lose focus and discipline, we start taking our success for granted. Come the fall, we end up with a major reoccurrence. He was very clear about the double whammy we're all experiencing, the fact that there's a health emergency which has now triggered a serious economic and fiscal problem. He said very, very directly, and this is something we should all take to heart, the federal government has a role. He didn't criticize the president. He said, federal government has a role, but success in fighting and defeating COVID-19 will happen at the local level. It'll happen because we make it our duty, our responsibility. We take the Santa Fe promise that we will both be safe and open Santa Fe together. That's the Santa Fe promise. Safe, open, and together. Nationally, there are now 1.5 million cases and about 100,000 deaths. He had one other word of advice, which was stay off the information roller coaster. Don't get caught up in the emotional ups and downs. Stay even, stay focused, stay disciplined. Remember what works. We know what works. Keep practicing it. So that's a brief update on COVID-19 and the Santa Fe promise. We are reopening. Now, the governor has begun to loosen the constraints. We're seeing stores and shops open. We're seeing the promise of restaurants, perhaps by June 1, we'll be able to sit back down. And that tells me that here in Santa Fe, we're not only having the Santa Fe Safe campaign, we're also having the Santa Fe Fun campaign. Because summer's a great time. We want to have fun. We've got trails, parks are open, the golf course is open. We're working on tennis courts, pickleball, all the while remembering best practices, COVID-safe practices. Now we're looking into working with our restaurants as we anticipate their full reopening to have sidewalk cafes, take some of the parking spaces in front of restaurants, open those parking spaces up for tables. A little bit of Paris in Santa Fe, in northern New Mexico. We're looking at the potential for drive-in movies, scavenger hunts, all kinds of fun things that we can do and still stay safe. Safe, open, together. That's Santa Fe summer. So if you have any great ideas that you want the Santa Fe Fun Committee to consider, send it to the mayor's office, mayor@santafenm.gov. We'll get it in front of our working group. It's department heads in tourism, economic development, land use, arts and culture, all working together. Please think about ways that we can have some more fun that are fun and safe. That's the combination. Another coming attraction is the upcoming Memorial Day observances. Monday is Memorial Day. We take a day to spend some time thanking the men and women who died serving in the U.S. Armed Forces and their families, remembering them in our hearts and respecting them for the freedom they've made possible for us. Hometown heroes are on display, pennants recognizing 86 hometown heroes on Cerrillos Road, banners thanking our veterans for their service to the country. On the website right now, up and about, is a survey as we try to put together the city budget in these very, very difficult financial and fiscal times. We're asking you to give us some advice. It's not a vote. It's not a mandate. It is a conversation between your elected officials, your budget department, your city manager, and the community at large about what you think the upcoming city budget needs to look like. And it's not just going to be 1 year. We're going to be in this for a while. We're going to be dealing with the aftermath of COVID-19. Some people think the recovery may take 4 to 5 years. It certainly took that long coming out of the Great Recession of 07-08. Now we're in an economic free fall that has a huge impact on our local economy, on employment, on small mom and pop stores, on your city government. We're seeing a budget deficit of about $100 million. And we're going to whittle away at that. We're going to bring it down. We're going to have a plan. We're going to go through budget hearings, but we want to hear from you. So go to the city website. You can find the survey there. It's in both English and in Spanish. The English version will close in terms of input 5:25 at 5 p.m. The Spanish version closes 5:28 at 5 p.m. so we can have time to collect the data, analyze your responses, begin to propose ideas to the council based on what you're telling us, based on what our department heads are telling us. There's going to be change in Santa Fe. There may well be departments consolidating. There will certainly be savings in spending, in hiring. So we want to hear from you with that city survey. It's on the city website. You may have to look around, do a little, put it in the find box, but it's there. As you know, we're still on a furlough plan to try to reduce our costs for this fiscal year, where we have a $46 million budget deficit. So every Friday afternoon from 12 on, city government is closed as a budgetary item, as a budgetary requirement, as we try to squeeze down our expenses. Within that, we're still seeing a lot of creativity. Our librarians, who are amazing and remarkably resilient people, are now doing curbside pickup at the libraries, just like there's curbside pickup for meals. We can deliver curbside books. So take advantage of that, but remember that for Friday afternoons going forward, your city government is closed as a budget item. A big shout out to Creative Santa Fe. For 2 Friday nights in a row, they put on the virtual lemonade extravaganza, 2 big glasses of lemonade to help artists and our cultural producers here in the community. They raised $50,000 from the supporting community of Santa Fe and northern New Mexico, watching those great programs, everything from Buffy St. Marie to music from our local music scene, interviews with national and international stars and celebrities from the arts, cultural, and music scene. $50,000 will now be contributed thanks to you for watching the Lemonade fundraiser and Creative Santa Fe putting it all together. A huge success. Coming attraction, put it on your calendar, Midtown Meet the Developer, this coming Tuesday, the 26th of May, 5 p.m. It's going to be focusing on education and jobs. It's on YouTube. It'll be accessible through the city's website. We'll try to make it as easy for everybody to find it as possible. We've heard from some folks that I want to watch it, I want to send in a question, I don't know how to do it. We'll be putting out press releases and other information so that you can find it, you can submit a question, you can be part of the conversation going forward about what will happen on that Midtown site. I had a great conversation earlier this week with representatives of the Santa Fe Realtors community, bringing them up to speed about the underlying land use planning that will go on. Right now, for example, even if we had a plan for that site, we have to change the zoning. And that's not something everybody knows. We've got to go through a public process to change the zoning on the campus, and we will be going through a very public process with lots of engagement, lots of outreach to get your ideas as we build a plan, a master plan, which will also have to be adopted in a very orderly way through the governing body, through the city council. It's going to take months to get this right because we want to hear from you. So check out the Tuesday, May 26th, 5 p.m. Meet the Developer on education and jobs. It'll be posted on the city's website. You can find it. And of course, coming up on Wednesday night of next week, 5 o'clock, is another virtual city council meeting, doing the work of passing contracts, dealing with city budget items, moving forward on a number of issues of real importance to the entire community. So feel free to, and please do take advantage of the chance to not leave your home, not have to come down to City Hall. You can have a virtual experience of watching that public meeting from your own home. That's about it for Friday. I hope you're all doing well. I hope we can continue to do our own best effort. It doesn't take much. A little piece of fabric is a contribution to everybody's health and safety. A little dab of hand sanitizer keeps you a little bit safer. 6 foot distance keeps us all a little bit safer. Take the Santa Fe promise. Promise to do your part to keep us safe, open, and together. That's our work going forward. It'll help us rebuild the economy. It'll help us spend our money locally in our shops, stores, restaurants as they reopen. It'll rebuild Santa Fe, begin to bring back the energy, the vitality, the fun of summer. So remember, Santa Fe safe, Santa Fe fun, put them together. It's going to be a fun summer, a safe summer in Santa Fe. Thanks for watching. Please have a great weekend. Please stay safe, stay healthy to the greatest extent possible. Stay home. If you do go out, practice social distancing, and I will see you next week. Take care.